Peace, family. This is your boy Juro. It is Sunday, the 22nd of 2021. How is everybody doing? So, I hope your weekend's going well. Sitting in my garage, actually taking a little time out. Got some honeydew things I got to do, and I've been working on, which consists of restructuring my spare bedroom because I'm gonna be doing a lot of videos out of there. Plus, there's some things that there's some hobbies that I want to get back into when it comes to my creativity. I can't wait to show you that too. But I had a synchronistic moment yesterday. Some of y'all may have watched the fight with Manny Pacquiao and Odanis Ugas. Some of y'all may have watched WWE's pay-per-view. Some of you may have watched the UFC event. And as I was watching, being that it's number one entertainment, the one thing that I realized, I saw a narrative across the board. Even with the Diamond League with Sha'Carri Richardson. And I noticed the commonality amongst all three, that when it comes to expectations, you must first take accountability of your acceptance of the outcome. So what I mean, Drew? Well, for starters, from the sports aspect, all three of those different genres, you have a lot of fans, you have a lot of support, and there are expectations, right? But what I noticed, that the outcomes did not deliver with the expectation. And I realized I saw how can I say this? I saw a jewel that was being revealed for me, that no matter the outcome, no matter what your outcome is and whatever you invest, you have to be in a place of acceptance for what the result may be. Now, where am I going with this, Gerald? Let's look at your life, where you are right now. We know that is the living constant, your reality. And have you noticed that depending on the investment time, depending on how the delivery is done, you might not get the result that you think you're going to get. The outcome may fall short, but there's still a beautiful opportunity. So what do you mean? Nobody likes disappointment. Nobody wants to proverbially have the egg on the face, so to speak. Or depending on where you are emotionally, in a position of insecurity. But what I realized was this: no matter what the outcome may be that is being presented to you at said time, the sooner you're able to accept it is the sooner that you can change said outcome in the future. Think about it. Say there's something that you're trying for the very first time. Some people are born naturals. Some people fall short. But in between that, there are some people that will use that as a means of measurement of their growth. They'll take accountability for said product, production, i.e., effort. And they will critically analyze what has been demonstrated. They'll make adjustments. But before you can even think of making an adjustment, you got to acknowledge what is present. Now here's the big one. Your reality, the things that make up your day-to-day, your patterns, your behaviors, your connections. You do realize that once you come to a place of acceptance, what's right behind it is your transparency, because you can willfully make the right decisions to change it. So, let's go back to sports real quick. There were a lot of people that were supporting, we'll say boxing. There was a lot of people that were supporting Manny Pacquiao. Just knew he was going to come in and he was going to be victorious. Put forth a great effort. However, at the end of the day, he did not win. Was he disappointed? Yes, rightfully so. He didn't quit. He did his best. But the one beautiful thing about that, he took ownership. Because taking ownership means you identify you at that moment. So, this is where the people in the cheap seats always have opinions. And haven't you noticed those people never have a product, but always have something to say? And what's sad, what's truly sad, those same people never had your best interest to begin with. So, let that sink in for a second. And I'm not saying this from a judging standpoint, I'm not. But I've come to understand, when you allow yourself to be one with yourself, to be authentic, because, you know, as we used to hear this, you always would hear people say, real recognizes real. Well, how can you make sound decisions if you don't know your foundation? What makes you happy? What makes you make the decisions that you choose? Because that's free will. But just take a second. You know, just like your elders would say, you probably heard your parent tell you, if you just took a second to think before you act, the outcome could have been different. It's all the same. The product is you. The more you invest in yourself, the stronger you become. The more that you allow yourself to be introspective, the more aware you become of your environment or those who wish to seek access to said environment. So, tell me again, you're not worth it. Tell me again, you don't believe that your dreams can come true. Now, let's talk about said dreams. Yes, effort, commitment, and fortitude can put you on the path. But you also have to be realistic at what path you're trying to go on. Think about it. You hear people all the time say, I want to be a millionaire. But they don't understand what it takes to become a millionaire. Yes, there are people that get into fast track. But if they don't understand what is required, just as quick as they got there, just as quick as they're removed. It's just like if I gave you $1, right? And I say, you hold on to this dollar And eventually, do the same thing I tell you to do, it'll start to grow. But you don't see the value of that $1. How would you understand what the value is if I gave you 1,000? It's the same with your life. It's the same when it comes to access to you. So, with that being said, it seems more evident now than ever. We've got countless distractions. So many people wish to turn a blind eye on the things that should have value. Even to the point you will hear them say, nah, that can't work. If I don't see it in my hand, it doesn't exist. And there's nothing wrong with being objective. But what about the effort? You can't have effort without commitment. Because when you have commitment, what you feel, what you manifest, now it becomes real. We're talking about your life. We're talking about your happiness. You know, I mentioned the other day, do you know what your happiness looks like? But for you to truly understand or envision what your happiness is, you must come to a place of acceptance of what's not there. And the only way you can do that is being transparent with yourself. So when I saw all these examples playing out yesterday, and I saw the effects of how the environments were quick to jump ship, fair weathered as we would call it, I still saw the blessing in that. I still saw the awareness of what was being presented. I still saw the wisdom that could come from it, because the individuals that it impacted, if they were aware, logically, not emotionally, logically, they're going to make the adjustments as needed. They're going to make the tweaks that are required. They're going to also have the commitment to define the change that's embraced. And if they do, the said effort and product may yield a different outcome all in all. But what it will do at the end of the day, no matter what, it will also yield peace of mind. You realize how priceless just having peace of mind? You can't put a price on that. That's why I mentioned before, if you're on the hamster wheel of life because of responsibility, and no matter where you're at, wherever you decide or where you consider your place of solace, where you lay your head, your home, even if it's temporary, if you're unable to disconnect from what was on the outside of your door, you might as well still be outside there. You'll never be able to reboot your life. No different like a computer. You notice when there's updates, the last thing that it asks before it sticks, it asks you to reboot the system. And then when you do so, you see the updates. That's change. That's growth. Because you can't grow if you remain stagnant. You can't change something that requires awareness to identify this does not work without being transparent. And some of you long for that. No different like a child on Christmas Day waiting for that one gift they longed to have. That's you. It's always been you. But if I'm going to talk about acceptance, I got to also talk about this. Be prepared. Listen, be prepared of what? Be prepared that when you finally are transparent with what you need, not what you want, what you truly need, you're going to get that same energy back, push back, so that you don't change it. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. That's why, for example, you may have been the shoulder of a reason. But when you need that said shoulder, they're not there. They don't understand. They don't get you. They try to talk you down from the ledge, proverbially. Why? Because now you've become a threat. It may not pertain physically, but emotionally. Because you are fostering change. And as we've all come to a custom of hearing the term, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Look at the source of who's conveying that. Because maybe, just maybe, the people that are conveying that said notion to you is because they can't risk you not being there, because they too have not mastered that. That's why misery loves company. Have you noticed? Think back when you had that setback. Think back. You know what that is. That challenge. You will also notice that they were right there. But they wasn't there for support. They were there because they were tuning in because you were the distraction to what they should have been doing all along. You were no more than the emotional entertainment. You may be in a season where you're saying, well, you know what? I don't like my economic position right now. And I know that to change it, I'm going to have to invest time and effort to have other opportunities. And you'll notice they'll be the first one that will come with the distraction. Oh, well, we're going over here. I thought you might want to roll. Or we're going to be hanging out, blah, blah, blah. But they know you're committed to this change. And they're the first ones that will not render non-support. They're the first ones that will try to tear you down. Oh, so you think you're better than us now? Come on. How many of y'all heard that? That's why I've always echoed that. I remember at least 4 or 5 years ago, I put this video out, and I was talking about the importance of having an understanding of what friendships or what a friend is. Because a friend will unconditionally want you to be the best you. And it is verified because they are also presenting that through their efforts, because they also are doing the same. So it's in synchronicity. But what I've also understood is this. The people that are willing to attempt to have access to your life, if they do not know their purpose, they can't walk with you. What do y'all got in common? What do y'all got to talk about? And if a person doesn't have a purpose, they'll never have a direction. They'll never have an end goal. They'll always be on a holding pattern in life. They only will be at a certain level. They can't proverbially break through. And they'll end up trying to convince you that that's the best thing or the best they can do. No, no, no. But if this is being presented, I say to each and every one of you, with all respect, find a place of accepting what is being shown. One of the things I used to always echo, family, is this. Not everybody's going to know your story. Not everybody's going to earn the right to walk with you. Not everybody is going to even earn the right to know your middle name. But a select few will be able to love what they see because they've earned the right to be a part of it. So don't get caught up. You know, you've heard people say millions of times, people come in your life for a reason, a season, and a lifetime. Put your focus on the lifetime part. Don't get caught up on the seasons, because every season should give you an opportunity to elevate, to grow, to break off the rough parts, to make room for the growth. That's the blessing. Now, I understand only a select few are going to hear this. And I also understand there are going to be some folks that have turned this off. And that's okay. I hope you get there. But the one thing that I've learned, even in those scenarios, we are always shown ample opportunities of what we need to do. It's just not until we're able to accept what should have been done. Protect your time, protect your health, and keep on moving. Because you can't go through life trying to go forward when you're looking through the rearview mirror of where you've been. That's for somebody. I'm excited for you. Some of y'all are finally connecting to your inner voice. Some of you are finally grounding your feet. And some of y'all are finally allowing yourself to be free. And what I mean by that is you've gone through a period of time where you lost your smile. The worst thing you could ever do is allow your smile to be silent, to be removed. But if you want to change that, you must be transparent. What is it that I need to do to feel more whole? Why do I feel numb? What is it that is holding me hostage from myself? Because when you're able to answer those questions, guess what? Your smile will return. You'll be able to sleep more better, more somber. And you will have clarity on what was already there the entire time. Some of y'all are going to have to come to terms with saying goodbye. Some of y'all, and I'm going to say this too. I did a video called The Power of Forgiveness. Check it out. But I've come to learn in my life, forgiveness is not for the person that has wronged you. Forgiveness is for you to free you. But how can you free yourself from said burdens if you haven't found a place of acceptance? Because you can't accept something if you don't acknowledge it exists. It's no different than someone placing their foot on your back emotionally. And once you're able to come to terms that, hey, I know I've invested said time. I've done all I can do. However, I am not growing. I used to always tell people, sometimes you have to get out of the way of other people so that you can see your rightful path. And when you're able to do that, everything that was out of place will be realigned, and everything that was out of place will be removed. Yes. And don't worry about those folks. It may be a job. Because some of you are in jobs that you hate. Let's be honest. You've got all these accolades from investing in this career, and to only wake up one day and realize you are miserable. It is not part of your actual divine calling. Who am I talking to? You doing that, but you wish you could do this. And no matter what you do to distract it, the longing is still there. You do understand. When you're able to identify that you have a passion for something, that means you love it so much you would do it for free. Why? Because it is an example of you. And you deserve it. As long as you stay grounded, you'll continue to reach for the stars. And everything that is divinely meant for you, and I want to say this for somebody, your environment has convinced you the window of opportunity has come and gone. Let me tell you something. They're telling you that because they want you to continue to believe that you can't do it. It's because they don't have the ability to do what you can do naturally. But just know this. Just as you took your first breath, there was a spiritual contract spoken over your life. And anything that was divinely meant for you to have, you didn't miss it. It just wasn't ready for you to claim it. Let that sink in too. And guess what? I've seen this play out countless times. As long as you continue to stay on that path of what you need to do, whatever you thought it was the outcome, it won't even hit the expectation of what the reward is going to be, because you can't fathom what the Most High has for you. That expectation is just to get your attention to commit to it. But what is on the other side of that, you'll be so grateful. You will be so grateful that you believed in yourself. So, I'm going to shut this down. I hope you have a safe and blessed weekend. Please put your health in front of your pride. Now's not the time to place ego in front of insecurity. All this required is for you to be you. And remember, it starts when you decide to love yourself more. Be blessed.